Hello, everyone. This is Curtis with We Whack a Lawn Care. Hey, I'm back again to share another lawn care video with you. Hey, today we're inspecting this property before I take it on. We're just looking at the back of it and the side of it, and the grass kind of high there. Here's the side. Look at there. That's kind of high there. We're gonna get it down though. Look at the front. Yep. It definitely needs a good edge job and good mowing. And so that's what I'm here to do. And I'm gonna share it with y'all. So you see, I got the mower and we're ready to tackle this here lawn. We're gonna see if we can make this one look good. We're gonna get it all good and cleaned up and all for the customer and all. You know, when you get that call to come and help somebody get the lawn in order, well, you try to give it your best. And that's what I always do. Try to give it my best. Try to get it all cleaned up and make it look good for them. You know, because you want your customer happy. You want them happy. And so far, you know, they keep calling. So they must be happy with the service. And I appreciate it. You know, I'm like, okay, all right, I'll come over. I'll put you on the schedule. And I'll come and take care of the lawn. And so that's what I've been doing for this customer. They put me on they asked me to put them on a schedule, so I was like, okay. And so I tried to come over and help them, you know, get their lawn looking good and all. And this one here, I've mowed a number of times and have informed the customer at times that I need to put some weeding feed in here, and which this lawn, from last year, it had a lot of weeds in there. So the weeding feed has helped out. It still has some weeds in there, and little bit by little bit, the lawn is improving. It's really improving, but it still has some weeds. I mean, it takes time to mow it because you gotta go back over it a number of times because these little weedy grasses, it just, I don't know, it just pop back up. You go over it and go over and over it. And now sometimes you get some grass, I don't know. You can put sharp blades on your mower and somehow it slides off the blade and you have to just go back over it a time or two. It's not giving a good chop, but those are things that happens. Some of us got some tough grass. I've had some lawns that I mowed before and put some sharp blades on it. By the time I finished mowing that lawn, the blade was dull. The grass was so tough. It was, hard grass. I don't know what kind of grass. It was just tough. It was some kind of, I don't know what kind of grass that was. It was tough. It dulled the blades. And I couldn't do nothing with it. I just took them off and put some new blades on there until I had time to sharpen them for my next lawn. But some, you never know what you're gonna encounter when you mow up. When you are mowing some lawns. Sometimes the grasses, if they fertilize it right, and a little fertilized weed and feed and water it. Sometimes you have some good grass where it's easy to cut and it looks great. But sometimes you get some lawns, it's just nope. You're going to have to work with it to make it look good. It kind of what I have to do on this one. I had to work with this one to make it look good and clean and all. So it takes a little bit longer to get this lawn mowed down where it's not any weeds. Now over on the neighbors over, I noticed it was earlier in the year where they put all new sod in their front lawn there. So I guess it's something in the soil or something other. They had put some new sod, and it's looking good. As long as you keep it watered and fertilize it. Some of it you need to put on some fertilization like every 6 months, and it'll keep the grass good and healthy. And then, you need to in the winter, for the winter months, put out some winter fertilizer so that it will it'll help it along the winter. And so when the next Next year comes and it'll come back out uh, pretty and green. It'll help it. So those are things that you have to stay on top of for keeping your grass good and healthy and all. So this, yeah, I have to go over it because it's just little spots in there, guys. I have to, go over and as I'm mowing, I'm looking around to see if I missed anything, and so I have to go over it to make sure. Because sometimes there's some hard grass, so you get a lot of little weeds in there, and you want to go over that to make sure that you do a good job for us mowing. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm just getting the camera. I'm gonna move the camera over and give y'all a side view of me mowing over here on this here side right here. Okay. So now we're gonna carry on. We're gonna continue to mow here. We're gonna get this side all mowed up. We're gonna mow this side. Okay, you see I'm just walking along here. Wow, guys, I got stung. It was a bee came out and got me, stung me on my hand as I was mowing. Now that hurt. I wasn't looking for that. I was not looking for anything like that to happen, but that came out of nowhere. And I don't, that I wasn't looking to get stung, but I did. Stung my hand. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get me some gloves and put my gloves on and see if I can come back and get this all finished up. But now that let me know if I got stung there, that there's some more bees around somewhere, and I have to be careful. Have to be careful because that can be, ooh, that could have really, I could have really got hurt there. But I didn't know. I didn't know I was gonna get hit by a bee that soon. And when that hit me, I was like, whoa, I was like, what in the world? What happened here? I was afraid that there was gonna be more than one, but it was just one got me. Sometimes you may be like 4 or 5 of them, they come after you and get you. So it must be a little nest around somewhere around there, and they think that you're gonna mess with them or something, or the noise disturb them or something. But they will come after you guys. Those, I don't play around with those bees. No, I've had to run some bees. I mean, sometimes they'll make you run and get in your vehicle, hide from them. They'll follow you. I mean, when I say follow, you go down the road or something, and you get out and they're coming after you. You don't play with them. But I'm gonna get it mowed. The little bee, that was just one. But you run into that sometimes where you're in situations where that the bees will come out on you. You're not knowing, you're not aware of it, and you can seriously get hurt. Now, it's been times that I'm out mowing and I've had bees. I got stung by bees. I got bitten by spiders. All kinds of insects. I mean, this part that you don't know about. It's dangerous out here. But I've had, my legs swole up on me from a spider bite. And Oh, bees, snakes, all kinds of stuff. Whoa, came close to getting snake bitten too. It was some high grass. Didn't know the snake was in there. Stepped on the snake, and snake raised up on me. I had to be fast and quick and jump and move. 'Cause I was like, oh no. Hey, not today, buddy. Not today. I'm not finna get snake bitten today. Oh no. And what I want to tell you, like these little small snakes, man, they don't know how to control the venom. They let out a lot of venom if they bite you. So you gotta be careful. Be careful. And that's why, in the beginning of the video, you can see where I was walking over the property, and I inspected, because you never know. I mean, snakes be laying up around the fence or the foundation, so you always want to inspect it, just to see what you're working with, because you don't know what's around there. Like, I didn't know I was going to get stung with that bee, so that lets me know there's some more bees around. If I got stung by one, there may be a nest nearby. Oh, yeah. So, guys, it's summertime, and you have to be very careful when you working out in these lawns, because you just never know where a snake may pop up. I mean, especially like where I'm on right now. There's been known to have a lot of copperheads, and some other kind of snakes out there, but some of them are very poisonous, so you have to be very careful. And that's only when you walk over the property, you inspect the property, because you don't want no encounters. You just don't know what you're gonna walk up on, what may be laying in that grass. And so it's always good to keep the grass cut in the summertime. I mean, that high grass is scary. That's what I want to say. High grass is scary. Because snakes are trying to stay cool, and they're moving through the grass. And so you never know, especially like in the morning time. They will curl up and they will lean against the foundation because it's kind of cool. And we had that grass laying over there. And now that's where I've mowed a lot of lawns, and I would notice that snakes will be up close to the foundation laying in the grass. And if they have like some old boards or something laying around, you have to be careful, because sometimes there'll be snakes in there, and sometimes there'll be a nest of snakes in there, old boards, stuff just laying in the yard. You may not think nothing of it, and you go over there nearby, and next thing you know, gotcha. Snakes come out on you. That's why it's very important, especially keeping it clean. And when it's hot, they will get in the garage. It have been a number of times I've attended some properties, and customers have informed me that they had snakes up in the garage. And what happens is, if you have a wooded area where they have like mice and rats and stuff running around, well, the snakes be trying to get something to eat, and they eat the mice or rats, so they'll follow them until they get them. And so you have to be very, very cautious about what's going on when you're working with high grass. I've had some customers where they had me to come over and mow the lawn, and they had a snake that was in the house under their bed. So they had to get one of those people that are in the business for wildlife catch, something like that. I think it was wildlife catch, where they come in and they'll catch the snake. Well, they caught the snake, and the snake was up under their bed. Can you imagine you laying in your bed and you sleep, and and you're not aware. And there's a snake laying under the bed. And just so happened, I asked the customer how did they know that it was a snake under their bed, and they said that they were going to get their shoes, and they looked down, the house shoes, and they looked down up under there, and there's a snake laying up under the bed, asleep. Oh my! A poisonous snake laying under your bed. Uh, boy. I don't know, but that customer, well, they didn't stay there long. After that, the wife told the husband, "Look, we can't stay here no more. We got to go." So they moved. They moved from the house because it was paranoia. It felt like it may be another snake in there, and it was one of those close calls. And it's like, what do? You're like, man, what? I mean, especially you don't want your baby to get hurt. They had a little baby too, and it was just too paranoia. It was like, man, you're in fear. You're like, oh, but they get in, and you have to inspect your property weekly. Make sure that you don't have a lot of stuff laying around that's not attended to, like old boards and stuff, and power. And check that garage. You got to keep your garage clean, because they'll get up in there and then up in there. I mean, you got to get that stuff out of there. And those are the things that you have to be aware of. I've cut a lot of lawns. I've visited a lot of properties over the years, and it was very dangerous in some of the areas that I went to. And I had never encountered those spiders, those, what they call them, I don't know, tarantulas or something other. I had never encountered them until I went out to this one property, and they had those big old tarantulas crawling around out there. And I was like, what in the world is that? I ain't never seen no spider that big. And so no, they had them out there. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be cutting this. I don't think so. Sometimes you have to pass on some lawns. It's like, no. And I mentioned earlier as I was talking, I did say that I got bit by a spider. And I was out by a lake. They had this lake, and I was mowing, and wasn't aware, and something happened to my leg. I couldn't feel my leg. It dropped me. I fell to the ground, and my leg went numb. I don't know what kind of spider it was, but I was out there by myself, and I ended up having to crawl until my leg came back. But I managed to get my equipment and get out of there, and I got me some alcohol and I had to soak my leg with that, because I was like, what in the world happened? So I didn't know, but that property was infested. I mean, all kinds of stuff out there. And then I've had some lawns where I was out in it was like like cattle and stuff around, and I was mowing the properties, like one of these old country properties. And so I'm mowing. Then I stopped, to wipe the sweat from my face. It was so hot, sweaty and all. Next thing I know, something bit me. And I was like, what in the world was that? It was one of those horse flies, those big old giant flies. It landed on my arm and bit me. Man, that thing, it was worse than a dog bite. That hurt. I was like, man, those poor animals, those big old overgrown flies, ugh. That hurt. That fly bit me. I was like, oh my God. It's one of those, you know what? I don't know if y'all ever noticed, like some of those nuclear flies, where they all chemical infested because, flies are nasty. They fly anywhere and all kinds of mess and everything. But it's one of those oversized flies. I mean, those flies, they get big, like what can I say, man? They're almost big as a bird, cause they chemical infested, cause they fly and eat all kinds of stuff, so they overgrown. I mean, you would have to look this one up, guys. Look it up. It's out there. The oversized flies, these big old flies, but people call them horse flies. But I got bit by one of them, and I tell you what, I've been afraid ever since. I can't stand flies. I mean, I can't stand them things. I don't like them around. They nasty. Ugh. And if they get on your food or any food and stuff, because of the bacteria that they have on there, and not paying attention, you fool around and be not got some contaminated food, and you're gonna get really sick. So, nasty. That's why sometimes if I go to a place, go out to eat, and it's got flies, and I'll just say, forget it. No, that's all right. I don't want any. No, I'm not buying nothing here. No, they got flies in there. Nope, I'm gone. You will get sick. Like I say, them flies. Ugh. They fly in all kinds of stuff. So nope. But you just have to be safe and cautious about every encounter that you may, in this life. You have to be very cautious. Just be safe and watch and look around. And so, like, I'm out here mowing this lawn. I had to inspect the lawn before I started working on it, because I don't want no surprises, but I got surprised. I got stung today by a bee. And matter of fact, I remember it was a tree, a hollow tree, and had a big old nest in it. And that's what I was talking about when I got stung by 10 bees. Yeah. And I bumped the tree. And I was mowing, and I wasn't aware there was anything in that tree. But it was. There was some big old bees in there, and they came out and got me. Put me to the ground. I was trying to look like I had a hat on, but they attacked my head. They put me down, and then they left me alone. They went on. I went on too. I was like, I'm out of here. But anyway, guys, I just try to share a little information to share with y'all, so that hopefully, if any of y'all out there are mowing, be careful. It doesn't matter whether you mowing lawns or you just a homeowner and you mowing your own lawn. Be careful. Be careful. Always be aware and looking, and always put on some safety gear. Put on appropriate clothes. Sometimes I see these guys, they mowing in their shorts and sandals, and I'm like, okay, that's very dangerous, because you don't know and what can happen to you mowing like that. That's just dangerous. And you want to have some safety shoes on, some long pants and long sleeves and glasses. And even though it's hot, I know you want to be cool, but I'm like, safety comes first. Cool can come later. I'm like, no, it's safety first. There's all kinds of stuff, like I say, fertilizer, all kinds of stuff. And where these properties, they flood, all types of toxic soil, that stuff come up out of those manholes, the sewage and all of that stuff in there. And when these property, it flood and the water gets up high, and when it recedes, it settles back down into the soil. So you out there, you have to be aware that this stuff is not safe. And I mean, you got human feces. I mean, they do it too. I've had some properties where the human feces, they were releasing themselves around the property. I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting. In fact, I got a video on one. It was a long time ago. It was a property that I was called out to mow, and I was like, oh my God, what in the world is this? Why did I take this one on? I shouldn't have taken it on. I mean, they paid me and all, but it was like, And what it was some homeless people they were squatters, were taking over home. They were coming around and they were doing that. And I was like, oh my goodness. Guys, I have went on a journey. More and more I think about it, I went on a journey of doing this lawn care throughout the city of Houston. And I've seen some stuff. I have seen some stuff. And so I share in these videos with y'all, telling my story of my journey of doing this lawn care. So it wasn't always, it ain't always what it's cracked up to be. You see me out here just mowing, but it's more to it. I mowed a lot of properties. I visited a lot of different neighborhoods. And out here, you have to see a lot of stuff. But stay tuned and I'll be able to tell y'all more. Stay tuned. I'm going to share some more. With y'all. That's what it's about, sharing. Keep you educated on the situations out here. But I'm almost getting this one here already, guys. I'm almost getting there. I got to spend a few more minutes here.
Hey guys, I was out here mowing, and early in the video I got stung by it was some kind of bee there. So I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't thinking nothing was gonna happen to me, but that thing hurt, man. It stung my hand, and sometimes you don't be aware of situations like that. They come out of nowhere on you. So it's always good to keep your can of some wasp and hornet nest spray. Keep that with you, and also keep you some gloves with you. Now I'm gonna show you along on this house where, if you're not paying attention, sometimes they're along the fence, they're up under the fence, they'll be on nests. Now here they're up about the window on this house. So I'm gonna kill you and show you where they're denning up. And sometimes you're just mowing, you're not paying attention, and wow, they'll get you. Come out of nowhere. That's why I put this towel around my neck to, try to protect me. So if you're out here mowing, always keep your towel and your head wrapped up, because you never know. It's hot, and you never know with where these bees might be. But here we go. I'm gonna show you. You can see right up there in the corner, right there. There's some bees up there by that window. You see right there. Now, one time I got stung about 10 times. So right here, I'm gonna take and spray some right there for them. You see, I had to spray there because, hey, I get hurt with them things, And moving along, I'll show you another nest. They're right up around this window. See, there's one right there. All right, got that one, and right over here, here's another one, a nest, right there. So sometimes you have to spray just to protect yourself, because you get out here, man, that can seriously do some harm to you when you're out here mowing and you're not paying attention. I got stung one time. It was like about 10 bees got me, and I had a headache for a month. So you have to be aware at all times when you're out here of these bees. And sometimes, you know, in England though, like in the window, the lower part of the house where they have these windows that stick out, you have to also be very cautious of stuff like that, because you don't know, you know, sometimes you'll have to inform the customer that, hey, you got some bees out here. Them things, man, you know, and my hand's still hurting. You know, luckily I keep a can of this. I always pick me up a can, because you never know. I done got stung a number of times out in the years out here mowing lawns, and shoot, man, that stuff ain't nothing nice. And one time I hit a nest, and I thought I was a goner, because that all them bees came out on me, and it wasn't nothing nice. That was scary. So you have to be careful and always looking around, you know. Oh, wait a minute, guys. There's another one up there. See, they all around this house right here. Look at that. Up over the garage, you see? They're right there. See there? One right there. And then there's another nest right there. See? So, I mean, yeah. I mean, come on now. He's here. Have to spray them. That was a number of them. Now, I'm just walking and looking and checking, because I don't know, you know, I didn't know what that other one, it came out on me. I'm just looking to see, what was he? It was over here. He flew out on me. And, you know, right around these windows. I didn't see any more. But anyway, like I say, I don't want to get stung anymore. My hand's still hurting. But anyway, I wanted to stop and share that with y'all. Be careful out here when you're out here attending to someone's lawn, because you can, you know, seriously get injured when some bees come after you. You know, you might be running and you're not paying attention. You're trying to get away, and a car can be coming. You run in front of the car trying to get away from some bees and get hurt, because you don't want to get stung, but you can wind up into an accident. Or you're using some equipment and the bees get you, and it can be a serious accident. So you gotta be very cautious when you're out here. So hopefully I got all these bees taken care of. But keep some of this, any kind, some wasp and hornet spray. I always carry that with you, so you can spray them and, you know, get your job taken care of. As that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna try to get this job all taken care of and get out of here. So let me finish. I'm gonna see if I can get this here all weed eated and everything. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Hey guys, I got it completed. I'm giving y'all a view of the afterwards of all the work that I put into cleaning this lawn up. So I'm just sharing this little bit with y'all. Hope you've enjoyed it and have a good one and take care. And I'll see y'all in the next video.